Welcome to Bogosox TV. We've got lots of classic and original TV shows. Subscribe now and enjoy the video.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa!
Catch me if you can!
Grandpa! No! Be careful! Grandpa, stop! Grandpa in my pocket! It was the school holidays. Usually, the school holidays are lots of fun. But I wasn't having much fun this time round
Stop scratching, Jason.
because I was covered in chickenpox spots.
Just need my sticky stars.
I'm so fed up, Grandpa.
Poor Jason Wolfie. Not only has he got chickenpox, but he's missing out on a special trip to the lighthouse.
Yes, today I was missing out on a visit to Mr. Mentor's Marvelicious Inventing Club. Mr. Mentor the inventor lives in the lighthouse in Sunnysands. He is always coming up with really crazy inventions, like this, the grassy boggle jumper, and this, the automatic aerostatic. Today, he'd invited some children to his inventing club so that they could come up with some inventions of their own. I'd even decided what things I was going to use for my invention.
Really? Such as?
Well, there's an old tricycle wheel at the lighthouse, and there's a curly-whirly coat hanger, and there's heaps of coloured flower pots. Oh, I could have made something brilliant out of all that.
Ready to invent something marvelicious?
Yes, I've got a great idea.
That'll be Shani's mum. I'll go and say hello. Come on, Jemima.
See you later. And no scratching.
I want to go to Mr. Mentor's Marvelicious Inventing Club too. I've got a feeling that Jemima is going to need some help.
Not the shrinking cap, Grandpa. You know what happens when Grandpa puts on his magic shrinking cap? He can climb up things, he can jump on things and off things, he can get into my toy car and make it go, he can chuff around the room in my Sunnysands train. But if he wants to go to the lighthouse, he has to fly.
This is my idea. I'd like to make a guessing machine for Jason.
A guessing machine? Oh, that's a fabadiculous idea. Let's see what we've got in here.
Luckily, Jemima, Shani and Mr. Mentor were so busy looking through his big box of junk that they didn't see Grandpa fly in through the window, or land on the floor, or jump out, climb onto a table, and hide behind Mr. Mentor's ping-a-ding-a-dong, just in time too. Because who should suddenly walk in but...
Floyd! Don't start without me.
Floyd! What a spectacular surprise. I'm so glad you're here. You can help us invent a guessing machine for Jason.
Nah, guessing machines are boring. I want to invent a machine that will make you go, ah!
Well, it's already made me go, ah! And you haven't even invented it yet.
Grandpa could tell that Floyd was going to be big trouble.
We'll work in pairs. You two stay here and me and Mr. Mentor over there. I've got some cardboard and some springs and some odd socks. They were under my bed. Just do what I say, Mr. Mentor, because I've got a brilioso idea. Come on!
And Grandpa was going to have a brilioso plan. Because soon, Floyd's brilioso idea looked like this.
I'm going to call my invention the Odd Sock Shock Monster.
Well, we've got the socks. Now it's time to do the shocks. That's the tricky bit.
I want his trunk to swing up and go, and his eyes to pop out and go boing, and his tongue to shoot out and go, ah!
Please don't keep doing that, Floyd. It's very hard to invent when you keep making me jump.
Mr. Mentor was so busy helping Floyd that he had no time to help Jemima and Shani.
What if we put some little objects in here, then spin a wheel, and one of them falls into some kind of pod thing at the bottom?
Okay, and then you put your hands in the machine and try to guess what it is just by feeling it.
We could call it the Whizzy Wee Touchy Feely.
It's a great idea, but I haven't got a clue how to invent it. We really need some help.
That's when Grandpa remembered all the things that I said I wanted to use. He jumped off the table and rolled the old tricycle wheel towards Jemima.
How did it do that?
No idea, but it's just what we need for the Whizzy Wee bit.
Grandpa's plan had started to work. He looked up and saw something else Jemima would need. So he jumped onto the table and made for the curly-whirly coat hanger. He carefully wiggled it off the hook.
Did that curly-whirly coat hanger just fall off all by itself?
It must have done. Hey, it's the perfect thing to stick the wheel onto.
Now all we need is something to put our objects in.
Grandpa knew the very thing. He jumped down and headed for a huge tower of plastic flower pots. He gave the tower a big push and...
A flower pot! This one's just the right size.
Grandpa's plan was definitely working.
It's almost as if these things want to be a part of our invention.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mentor was making Floyd cross.
And that is definitely not right there. Goes in
This
there.
is hopeless. It doesn't do anything. It's supposed to make you go, ah!
Ah! I don't do things that make you go, ah! I'm not that kind of inventor. Oh, dear.
While Grandpa thought up another plan, Floyd went over to the others.
What's that supposed to be? It looks pathetic.
It's a whizzy-weely touchy-feely, but it's not finished yet.
It'll never work. Not in a million years. This is a useless inventing club. Nothing works.
Now was Grandpa's chance. He was going to teach bossy Floyd a lesson. Floyd wanted his odd sock shock monster to make Mr. Mentor go, ah! What if the monster made Floyd go, ah, instead? So Grandpa crawled up the trunk of the odd sock shock monster.
Oh, don't do it like that. Do it my way.
Get off, Floyd! Leave us alone. You do your own thing.
At that moment, Grandpa started to wiggle the odd sock shock monster, and his eyes went boing, and his tongue shot out, and Floyd went,
Ah! It's horrible. Make it stop. Make it stop. I'm not doing your silly inventing club anymore. So there.
Then the odd sock shock monster started to laugh.
That's an incredible invention, Mr. Mentor.
Oh, I didn't invent it. It invented itself. And inventions that invent themselves are always fabridiculous. Oh, it stopped. Oh, I hope I haven't broken it. I'll just have a look inside.
Mr. Mentor, now that Floyd's out the way, please can you help us with our whizzy-weely touchy-feely?
Please.
Of course, my dear. Whizzy-weely touchy-feelies are right up my street. Yes. Come on.
While they all worked on Jemima and Shani's invention, Grandpa got out of the odd sock shock monster, and soon the whizzy weely touchy feely looked like this.
It's finished. Brilioso.
But we don't know if it works yet. Shouldn't we test it out?
But there was no time to test it out because...
My mum's here. We've got to go. Floyd, do you want to lift home?
Let me carry it down the stairs for you.
That is so cool. Can I have a look? Nice job. I'm sorry I was so mean, Mr. Mentor. I had no idea you were such an amazing inventor. That odd sock shock monster is spectacular.
Apology absolutely accepted. I do hope you'll come back to our inventing club next week.
Well, maybe.
Aren't you going to take your odd sock shock monster home with you, Floyd?
No way. No thanks. It can stay here.
Off we go. Mind the stairs.
As soon as everyone had left the room, Grandpa jumped into the plane and flew out of the window. Luckily, he arrived back just before Jemima. Grandpa jumped out of the plane, whipped off his shrinking cap, and came back to his normal size.
Grandpa, you're back. Did you have a successful mission?
I certainly did, and I couldn't have done it without you, though.
But I didn't help at all.
Oh, yes, you did, and any minute now you'll find out how. It was still teamwork.
Okay, Grandpa, teamwork.
Here you are, Jason, my marvelicious new invention.
Thanks. It's extremely marvelicious.
What is it exactly?
It's a whizzy-wheelie touchy-feeling.
A guessing game.
Yes, Grandpa. You spin the wheel, and that sends an object into the bottom. Then you stick your hands in there and try to guess what it is, just by feeling it.
Give it a try, Jason.
The other good thing about this invention is it stops Jason scratching his spots.
So it does. It's a work of genius, Jemima.
Has lots of legs. It's made of plastic.
I know. It's a plastic spider. I'm so glad you used the old tricycle wheel and the curly-whirly coat hanger.
And the flower pot, it's inside.
Right again, Grandpa. Anyone would think you'd been to inventing club too.
It's really good, Jemima.
I know. Shall I help?
Chris. She had an amazing new hairdo.
Yeah, she looked really cool.
Oh, hi. You're here already.
Want to hear another story?
Of course they want to hear another story. I know. How about a story about hairdos?
Or should we say hairdo-hoos?
That was the one I was thinking of, Chris.
Hairdo-hoos! I better explain. As you know, Boris Boo Hoo was coming...
No, Chris. The story starts with pa-ha-ha.
Oh, yeah. One day, Pa-ha-ha was in the hairy apple orchard. He'd been collecting junk and he was taking it to Nanna.
And we were sitting in a hairy apple tree, watching him.
There goes Pa, clunkety clunk.
Clunkety clunk, clunkety clunk.
Pa's junk made such a noise. Yes, this was the day Pa's junk went clunkety clunk.
All that junk collecting had made Pa feel hungry.
He looked up and saw there was a really big, ripe, juicy, hairy apple just waiting to be picked. Ooh.
But it was too high for Pa to reach. He'd set his heart on that apple.
Oh.
Suddenly, he had an idea. Oh, yes!
He'd fetch a ladder.
He's really keen on that big apple, isn't he?
Yeah, the bigger and the hairier the better for Pa.
Now, up on the hill at Chateau Shampoo, someone was busy. Can you guess who?
Boris Boo Hoo, what's he gonna do?
Boris was in the middle of making some Boo Hoo shampoo, but he'd run out of soap flakes.
So he told Boise to go to Hairy Town and buy some more.
Boise needed some money for the soap flakes.
But Boris's hairy piggy bank was empty as usual. Then he remembered where he'd hidden a few coins.
In his sock.
Boris Boo Hoo was fed up. He never had any money.
Oh, how he wished he was rich. The richest person in Hairyland.
There must be a way to get rich, thought Boris. But how?
Boris picked up his hairy stairy to look for an idea.
And that's when he saw Pa's junk.
Boris was sure he could do something with that junk that could make him rich. But what?
He needed a plan. Boris needs a plan, he needs a plan as quick as he can. He needs a plan, he needs it quick.
He needs to plan a clever trick.
What'll it be?
What'll it be?
What'll it be?
And Boris's plan was to build a Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo machine to give everyone wacky hairdos, and they'd pay him lots of money.
Now all Boris had to do was get hold of Pa's junk.
Meanwhile, back in the hairy apple orchard, Pa was about to get his hands on the big hairy apple.
When Boris arrived and hid behind a tree.
Now was Boris's chance. He wasn't going to ask Pa if he could have it. He was just going to take it.
Oh, Nits! Pa was so busy picking his hairy apple, he didn't see Boris.
That is so bad, so bad. He was going to give that junk to Nanna. Poor Pa.
After him, Wiggy.
Papa Piggy, Papa Piggy, Papa Piggy, Papa Piggy, Papa Piggy, Papa Piggy, 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 Papa me round Hairyland, round Hairyland.
I am Quick.
And I am Wiggy
With a hairy fairy band. Woo! Boris had spread all the junk out in front of him and was about to set to work.
And we were going to watch from our hidey pipes.
Back in the hairy apple orchard, Ha was eating his special apple.
And he had no idea his junk was missing.
Or that it was about to be made into a Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo machine.
Coming to you.
Coming to you, a brilliant machine from Boris Boo Hoo. So much more than just a shampoo. It gives you a new Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo. Do you want a wash?
Do you want a shave?
Do you want a curl?
Do you want a wave?
Do you want a fringe?
Do you want a bob?
Then this machine can do the job. Coming to you, coming to you. A brilliant machine from Boris Boo Hoo. So much more than just a shampoo. It gives you a new Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo. And here it was, Boris's new Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo machine. And he was very pleased with it.
I bet it will work.
Nah, not in a million hairy years.
Now, Boris needed someone to try it out. Where was that boy Boise?
He picked up the hairy stairy and looked through it.
Back at the Ha Hairy house, Minnie was practicing her dancing.
When Boise arrived, saw her,
And did this.
well, you know what Boise's like when he sees Minnie.
Boris was cross. Who knew how long it would take Boise to get home now that he'd gone to visit Minnie?
Boo! I don't think he'll have to wait long.
Me neither. And we were right.
Ma and Minnie had come with Boise to help carry the soap flake boxes.
Boris was really surprised to see Ma and Minnie and tried to hide the new machine.
But Ma and Minnie had no idea that the Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo machine was made out of Pa's junk.
They thought it looked very interesting and they wanted to try it out.
Which was exactly what Boris needed. So Ma sat under the Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo machine.
Coming to you.
Coming to you, a brilliant machine from Boris Boo Hoo. So much more than just a shampoo. It gives you a new Boo Hoo hair-doo-hoo.
And when the machine had finished, Ma looked like this.
Boris was amazed. Now Minnie wanted a go.
Coming to Yoo-hoo.
Coming to you, a brilliant machine from Boris Boo Hoo. So much more than just a shampoo. It gives you a new boo-hoo hairdo.
And Minnie looked like this.
Boris was so happy.
He was going to make loads of money giving everyone in Hairyland a new hairdo with his Boo Hoo hairdo machine.
Then Boris had an idea. His machine was so brilliant, he was sure it could give him a new hairdo too.
Yep, even though Boris Boo Hoo didn't have much hair to do a hairdo with.
Boris told Boise to press start.
But the machine wasn't very happy. It started to go clunkety clunk, clunkety clunk.
Clunkety clunk, clunkety clunk.
And then the Boo Hoo hairdo machine did this.
Boris was so cross. His Boo Hoo hairdo machine was nothing but a pile of junk. Take it away.
Minnie knew exactly who would love a pile of junk. Somebody who collected junk and found all kinds of uses for it.
Ha ha ha, of course. He'd fallen asleep under the apple tree and had no idea what had happened.
So Boris put all the junk back in Pa's hairy wheeler. Clunkety clunk.
And off he ran.
Pa woke up and saw his junk. And that's when he remembered that he was taking it to Nanna's house for her.
So off he went. Clunkety clunk, clunkety clunk.
Would you like a new hairdo, Chris?
Why? What's wrong with the hairdo I've got?
Nothing. You look cool. But I bet I could make you look even cooler.
You think? No thanks.
Oh, go on. Let me try. I could give you a fringe or curls. Let me give you curls.
No way!
Oh,
Vicky, get off!
oh, go on. You know you want a new hairdo.
I do not! Leave me alone! You're not a proper stylist. Get off!
I